There are reports that Hulk Hogan's death was caused by medical malpractice. Plus, another major AEW star is working through an injury, and we have an update on a possible WWE return for Chris Jericho. It's all in the Cultaholic Wrestling News right now. Police in Clearwater, Florida, say the investigation into the death of Terry Bollea, aka Hulk Hogan, is still active. This comes a month after Terry Bollea's passing, which was concluded as caused by a heart attack.
Yeah, but there has been a new report from TMZ that says law enforcement sources tell TMZ Sports an occupational therapist was present at the wrestling legend's Florida residence when he stopped breathing. According to the report, which is on lockdown in quotation marks there, the therapist told responding officers Hulk was a victim of medical malpractice. The therapist says that during a recent operation, it's unclear if the surgery was to repair his heart or neck procedure. The surgeon severed the phrenic nerve, which controls breathing, simulating on the old diaphragm down there.
Yeah, TMZ go on to say, we're also told that there were conversations among the officers at the scene where they talked about what this therapist had told them, and this is all on body cam. It's a fair assumption that the conversation between the occupational therapist and the officer is also on the body cam. Clearwater Police put out a statement saying that they've been working closely with Bollea's family throughout this time, saying the unique nature of this case has required us to interview multiple witnesses and seek medical records from a variety of providers. And our detectives continue to do that until the investigation is completed. No records related to the case, including body camera footage, can be released. Police previously stated there was no evidence of foul play. It's not clear what part of the case is being investigated beyond the collection of medical records. It's something that we will keep an eye on, as they say as they said in the report. The investigation remains active, and when we know more, we'll let you know more about it at cultaholic.com. It is Forbidden Door this weekend, Ross. Will Ospreay going into the match, an unsanctioned match, a bit walking wounded, shall we say?
Too many sausage rolls. Will Ospreay sees Greg's, my God, I love the blue lights, and he eats too many sausage rolls, and he's therefore injured himself via sausage roll.
Is that what it was?
That's what it was, yes.
That's exactly what it was.
Nothing to do with his neck, no.
Did a promo where he said that neck surgery was in his future, but he demanded that this match happen. I think there's some people online who've taken that very literally as opposed to it being a wrestling angle. Despite that, Will Ospreay is looking to take some time off very, very soon to deal with a nagging neck injury. But he might not be the only one taking some time off.
Yeah, Fightful Selector saying Swerve is actually working with a torn meniscus. He had a tear in his meniscus since 2019 when he was training at the Performance Center. At the time, he rested for 4 weeks and then was back on television. AEW sources indicated that Jacksonville Jaguars Medical is actually helping him, Swerve, with the recovery from the injury. There is a possibility he could require some surgery and time off. We heard earlier this year that Swerve was actually going to take time off after All In, but that didn't end up happening.
He carried on.
Do you reckon it's a case of Cody? Remember when Cody's tit fell off?
Yes.
Do you reckon it's a case of these, in the case of Will and Swerve, it can't be injured anymore? So you might as well just work a match if you can and then go and get the surgery.
You'd hope so, yeah. I mean, there have been many documented cases of wrestlers who need surgery, just pushing through just a little bit more and then taking the time off needed. I don't think for a second, if they thought that either Will or Swerve was in any real imminent danger, they would not put them in a match.
No.
But it's unsanctioned. Yeah, it's a wrestling storyline. Mark Calloway isn't really an undead zombie.
What?
I know, I'm as shocked as you are. So there is definitely going to be some time off for Will, and as it seems now for Swerve going forward. Having said that, despite the fact there is no immediate concerns, I am going to be watching that cage match like this.
Yeah.
The thing is, because you've not only got Ospreay in there, no, you've not only got Swerve in there, both of which have said they need to take a bit of time off. Tanahashi's in there as well, and his knees have essentially healed over at this point.
Yeah, they have. They're not even knees anymore, are they?
It's just where the leg carries on. So there's a few of them. But having said that, with a match like this, multi-man, schmoz, weapons, blood, brawling. Weirdly, for some of the talent, it's probably the safest match they can have, because you can have those moments where they get taken out of the match and they spend a majority of the match not really involved in the match. They don't need to be going at 100 miles an hour, despite the fact the match is presented as the most deadly and the most aggressive of all time. For quite a few of them, they can just have a little sleep around the side.
Especially Tanahashi, with it being his last match in the UK. Just let him do one big thing that people remember, and then just let him have a lie down for the rest of the match.
I think Will, Swerve, and Tanahashi will all do one big thing.
Yeah.
And then don't be surprised if they just kind of get lost within the shuffle of the crowd of people in that match.
Yeah.
I think that'll be how that ends up going. There was a media call last night ahead of Forbidden Door this weekend. And the one thing that Sam and yourself and myself talked about on 9 Pitches was that kind of lack of New Japan talent. It seems to have been if you're paying attention to what's happening in New Japan's storyline world at the moment, it's due to a lot of clashing schedules.
Basically, yeah. Tony Khan said he wanted this Forbidden Door pay-per-view to happen before the G1, but it's happening after the G1. Therefore, certain people who might have been involved if it was before the G1 can't be involved because it's after the G1.
Yeah,
yes.
it's basically around G1 season, and therefore New Japan has all eyes on the G1 season, so they're kind of not half into this AEW pay-per-view as opposed they normally would be, which is why you've seen a lack of those big marquee New Japan AEW moments, not as much sort of back and forth between Japan and America for the build to this, and also Tony Khan does tend to have a habit of going, that's a nice New Japan wrestler, I will have him and put him in my cards, put him in my pack of cards here. That's another one now, thank you.
That's business.
That is a business. Tony Khan also said the future of AEW gaming is uncertain. He was kind of caught off guard by this question when he was asked about the future of AEW in video games. He said he's not sure. He said he's not a video game expert, but he had people within AEW and developers who he felt had the best interests at heart. He learned a lot about making games when it came to Fight Forever. He believes they can learn from the experience and make a better one down the line. Possibly the loneliest place on the planet right now, right? There's a little island just off the coast of Fiji. There's that, and there is the online mode for Fight Forever. Both are pretty lonely at the moment.
Epstein Island's there than the online.
One is slightly more controversial than the other.
Like, that's the thing. I think when everyone picked up the game and played, they're like, "Oh my god, this is a nice throwback." But then when you try and play the same game like a few months down the line, you're like, "I'm a little bit bored now."
Yeah, a little bit. And I was excited by the fact there was going to be a new video game on the market, and I did play it and I enjoyed it. But I felt that when you've got another game that is in many senses so far ahead, this one's got to play catch. You almost got to let this one ferment for a couple of years before it can really become a true alternative to it. That was the, and I think they were late on releasing DLC and sort of capitalizing on momentum of certain wrestlers. Like they go, we've released Tony Storm. You can now download Tony Storm. Yeah, but it's like regular Tony Storm, like timeless Tony Storm's been on telly for 2 months now, and now you're releasing regular Tony Storm. Like it's things like that didn't do it any favors either. So they said they might be exploring some new types of game as well, which I'm intrigued by.
Snap,
I like it.
I love a game of Snap.
I can't wait for John Moxley's fishing challenge.
Why not? Excuse me.
That would be a lovely time had by all. Chris Jericho has not been around AEW for quite some time. Maybe he's in the online mode at Fight Forever. That's probably where he's hiding.
Not Epstein's, though.
No. We reported this week about the chances of Chris Jericho making the jump back to WWE. And how there have been some conversations about him being there. All started by Jericho liking some social post about his possible return.
Yes.
Little bit of news on that this morning from Fightful Select.
Yeah, they're saying we haven't heard of any creative discussions regarding Jericho in AEW as of late, but also Jericho tends to speak with Tony Khan directly regarding his creative. My God, you can't tell that by what we see.
Kel surprise.
There also isn't a huge track record of him being on this amount of time off or how it would have been handled. There would have been a contract freeze or a potential return. Could it be handled? Basically, we've seen with Danhausen, time added on. So
Yes.
Jericho's been gone for a bit. Is there going to be time added on there?
Potentially there could be. Whatever happens with Chris Jericho, we know that when he comes back, it's going to be a clean slate creatively. Big Bull, and Brian Keith no longer listed internally as members of the Learning Tree, so that's done. However, Chris Jericho comes back, if he comes back, should he come back, it's not going to be anything Learning Tree based. Forget that. Moving on from that. Fightful adds, WWE sources that we spoke to said that Jericho's name hadn't come up whatsoever around the creative process. So if conversations have happened regarding him internally, it wasn't in that department. But there are talent that are speculating that he could be back
At the Rumble.
Yeah, he's got friends in that company that would probably vouch for him to come back.
And they can still keep a secret, they can, the WWE, when they want to, or when they're able to.
They certainly did at SummerSlam. They certainly did at SummerSlam. Yeah, they can keep a secret. We did a whole video on that though, didn't we?
The pros and the cons. Will he go back? Should he go back? It's live a couple of days ago on this very channel.
Yeah, you should go and check that one out. And also, this morning, you can check out a lovely conversation I had with the world's strongest DJ, Mark Henry. Somebody gonna get their record played by the DJ. Sweet Chin Disco is touring the UK and finishing up in Paris. So I had a chat with Mark Henry, who's going to be DJing throughout the entire thing. He used to make mixtapes for the ladies.
Oh, I bet he bloody did.
Oh, my days. So if you ever wanted to know what was on a Mark Henry mixtape for the ladies, check that out. And also, I give him a football team to follow. And I think he's going to do
From
it.
the Birmingham area, I imagine.
It might be from the Birmingham area. It might be from the Birmingham area. Find out which team that is. You know what? He is the most charming man.
Is he?
Oh, my
Did he
days.
make you a mixtape?
Well, I hope one day he does. You know, it's my bread's not butter that side, Bongo, but a chap like you could turn a guy's head.
It's sexual, baby.
It's on the podcast feed.
Sorry.
Leave it all to you. Never apologise. It's on the podcast feed and the Patreon if you want to check that out. And for the latest wrestling news at any time, you can check out Cultaholic.com. Stay safe.
Bye.